This was a war that decided whether humanity lived or died. The Night King pushed his White Walker army right up to Winterfell. The Unsullied set the trebuchets up front. In front of them stood the Dothraki cavalry, gripping their aurochs. On the left flank, Brienne and Jaime held the line with warriors from every region. On the right, Tormund locked it down with the Free Folk and the Night's Watch. Jorah Mormont knew Dothraki like a native, so having him lead the charge made the most sense. Daenerys and Jon waited up high, ready to jump in at any second. In the dark, the enemy's screeches kept getting closer. Jorah instantly ordered the Dothraki to raise their blades and get ready. Right then, the Red Woman, Melisandre, rode in on horseback. She grabbed a blade's hilt and started whispering a spell. Next second, holy fire crawled across the curved steel. Jorah led the Dothraki into a full charge. They screamed into the darkness like a burning tide, but reality hit hard. Sometimes hope flips to pure horror in seconds. Over 20,000 Dothraki riders got swallowed by the dark. Only a few survivors stumbled back, barely alive. Daenerys watched her army get wiped out. She ignored Jon and rushed in early on Drogon. The White Horde slammed into view. The Unsullied raised shields, leveled spears, and met them head-on. At the most hopeless moment, Dragonfire rained down. Daenerys arrived on Drogon, and Jon chased right behind on Rhaegal. The two dragons blasted the ground again and again. It eased the pressure for a moment, but Jon knew the Whites were just the first wave. The Night King stayed hidden in the back. Then, a massive blizzard exploded across the sky. Gale force wind and ice pellets tore through the battlefield. The two dragons got trapped inside that whiteout. They couldn't see the ground. They couldn't even tell which way was which. With no dragon cover, the Alliance instantly fell behind. No matter how brave you are, you can't tank those numbers. That outside line collapsed all at once. The commanders immediately ordered a retreat. The survivors pulled back into the castle for one last stand. Grey Worm kept the Unsullied outside to cover the retreat and buy time. The Unsullied gripped their shields, lowered their spears, and set the formation. Tens of thousands charged them, and they didn't flinch. But even then, Grey Worm faced a brutal call. He had to seal the trench and leave part of his men behind. At the same time, up on the wall, Davos waved the fire signal like his life depended on it, trying to guide the dragons. But Jon and Daenerys stayed trapped in the storm and couldn't see a thing. So Davos switched plans and fired flaming arrows at the trench, but the arrows hit the wet wood and died out. A few soldiers ran out with torches, and the Whites swarmed them in seconds. Then Grey Worm spotted Melisandre on the wall. He instantly formed a shield square and opened a lane for her. Normal fire couldn't catch on that freezing-soaked wood. Dragonfire couldn't reach this far either. Right now, the only thing standing between them and death was the Red Woman who just arrived.